Let's talk about Yahweh. Is that God's name? No. But to explain this to you, you're going to need to learn a little bit of Hebrew. In Exodus 3:13, Moses says to God, "When I come to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" And God said to Moses, "Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh." You may have noticed that doesn't say Yahweh. A lot of English Bibles use the word Yahweh in these verses when it's not actually the Hebrew term being used for God's name in the first place. Yahweh is an extremely old mistranslation for this. This name in Hebrew means the Lord, and that is the name that is commonly mistranslated. The name was considered so holy in Hebrew culture that they wouldn't speak it, but this led to people forgetting how to actually pronounce it. It is a name you can pronounce. In fact, a very, very famous rapper mocks the name by trying to mix it with his own name, and it's extremely insulting and blasphemous. The mistranslation is because of all of the little dots and little marks around the actual word, which are vowels in the Hebrew language. But back to the point, why is this dangerous? The ancient Israelites were heavily influenced by the Canaanites, and when they started worshiping Baal, they put a lot of the attributes of Baal onto Yahweh. So, Yahweh is a storm god that has a wife. Jesus' father does not have a wife, and he is not a storm god. I have had voodoo priests approach me trying to prove that my God is not real because they can prove Yahweh is just a pagan god. This is literally because of what the ancient Hebrews did in building temples for Yahweh and including Asherah in these temples, and that is what the entire story of Elijah is about. It's God sending Elijah to destroy all the Asherah poles and to get the Israelites to stop doing that. That is why I say, do not call God Yahweh. Call him Father before you call him any name that you've just heard someone say is his name. Because this is why so many people are confused with Christianity and God in the first place, because they don't even understand he's someone with a name. Jesus' dad has a name. And his name is so holy that a lot of people don't say it. In fact, he didn't even tell you his first name, like how we think. He said, "I am that I am." So when we say the Lord in Hebrew, the name for that is God's name. And that is why some rappers decided to try to make that their nickname. That is why you don't hear that name very much. Look what happened when that name got out. There's an entire cult surrounding it. And God is not going to let you disrespect his name. So imagine if he had told us his real name. You see what I'm saying? So that's the truth about Yahweh. All this information is in the Nephilim theory. This book has so much information. I have a playlist down there. There's so much information in this book, like you will not even see the world the same way. So, yeah, fun fact, don't call God Yahweh. I don't think he's mad at anybody for calling you Yahweh. I'm not saying that you're wrong if you've ever done that, but I'm just saying, now you know the truth.